It's strange how a single text can end an entire lifetime of loyalty. Mine came on a quiet Tuesday night. The message was short, don't call or come over. We are done. I stared at it for a long time. My thumb hovered over the keyboard, my heart thudding, but I didn't cry or beg. I just typed back 2 words, got it. That was it. Years of love, of money, of trying to earn my place in my own family, erased in one message. I'm Jennifer Hayes. 35. An interior designer who built her life from scratch in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But before I ever learned to create beautiful spaces for strangers, I spent years trying to fix the cracks in my own family's walls. Growing up, we looked perfect from the outside. My dad owned a string of restaurants, a self-made man everyone respected. My mom was his quiet partner, smoothing over his temper and running the house like clockwork. My brother, Brandon, was the golden child, the heir to the family business. And me. I was the outsider who preferred sketches and color palettes over fryers and ledgers. Dad used to say, the restaurants are our legacy, Jennifer. But legacy didn't pay for my dreams. So when I told him I wanted to study interior design, he laughed, that's a hobby, not a career. 17, I left home with a scholarship, a suitcase, and a heart full of doubt. Dad cut me off completely. No tuition, no support. Mom stayed quiet, and Brandon smirked like he'd won something. I worked 2 jobs to survive, waitressing by day, tutoring at night. Every paycheck was a reminder that if I wanted a future, I'd have to build it alone. By the time I graduated, I was running on caffeine and stubbornness. I started small, redesigning local diners, transforming tired spaces into places people loved again. Slowly, my name began to mean something in Tulsa. Jennifer Hayes, interior designer. 6-figure contracts, magazine features, dream clients. I'd made it, but at home, I was still invisible. 80 family dinners, Dad only talked about Brandon's progress with the restaurants. Mom smiled, proud of him, never me. I'd bring her my design magazines, the ones with my name printed in bold, and she'd glance at them for a second before saying, that's nice, honey, but Brandon's been so busy lately. And then Mom got sick. The kind of sick that drains both hearts and bank accounts. Dad's business was struggling, insurance barely covered anything, and without a thought, I paid. Hospital bills, specialists, medicine, whatever it took. Dad said, we'll pay you back, but I knew better. Mom sent a text that read, thank you, Jennifer. That was all. When Brandon's food truck business collapsed, Dad called again. He needs help, he said, as if that was my job. I wired $30,000 without question. Then another $20,000 when one of the restaurants needed equipment. Each time I thought, maybe this will make them see me, but they didn't. At every barbecue, Brandon bragged about saving the restaurants, my money, his credit. Dad clapped him on the back. Mom smiled. I stood there, a ghost at my own family's table. The day everything changed started with hope. I'd built my business from the ground up, and I wanted to grow it, the sustainable design firm for hotels and restaurants, focused on eco-friendly materials. I invited my family to a presentation. Slides, numbers, a full plan. Dad sat at the head of the table, arms crossed. Brandon scrolled on his phone. Mom hovered near the coffee pot, avoiding my eyes. I explained everything, how it would work, how it could profit everyone. When I asked for a $200,000 investment, Dad laughed. Hotels don't care about recycled wood, he said. Stick to decorating houses. Brandon didn't even look up. Sounds like a waste of money, he muttered. Mom whispered, it's risky, Jennifer. The restaurants are what we know. The words hit harder than I expected. After everything I'd given them, years, money, loyalty, they still didn't believe in me. Tara, my sister-in-law, was the only one who said, I think it's innovative. But Brandon shot her a look, and she fell silent. I packed my things, holding back tears. That night, as I drove home, I realized they would never see me as anything but an outsider. A week later, after another tense dinner, Tara pulled me aside in the kitchen. Her hands were shaking. "Jennifer, there's something you need to know," she whispered. "Brandon's been stealing from the restaurants. For years. Thousands." I froze. "What?" "He's been scheming from accounts. Hiding money. Your parents don't know, or maybe they do." Before I could respond, I heard my dad's voice from the other room. I stepped closer. "Is staying out of sight. We need to finalize the will," he said. "Brandon's the only one keeping this family together. Jennifer's off doing her own thing. She doesn't care about us." Mom's voice was low. "But she's given us so much, Steven," Dad cut her off. "Money, not loyalty. Brandon's our legacy." The room spun. My hands went cold. After everything, after paying their bills, saving their business, they were cutting me out of their future. I slipped out the back door and drove home in silence. My chest ached like something inside had broken beyond repair. The next morning, I woke up to that message from Mom. "Don't call or come over. We're done." I stared at it for a long time. Then I opened my banking app and cancelled everything: her treatments, their bills, Brandon's loans. Years of payments gone in minutes. Over $300,000 I'd poured into their lives, erased for the first time. The silence felt like peace. By midnight, my phone started buzzing: calls, texts, voicemails. "Brandon first, you think you can just walk away? You're selfish." Then another message: "You'll regret this. We'll take legal action." I almost laughed. Legal action? After all I'd done for them. Mom's messages came next: "How could you do this to me? After everything I've been through?" Then another: "I raised you better than this." I didn't respond. I couldn't. Because I finally saw it for what it was: not love, but manipulation. Then came Dad's voicemail: "Jennifer, you need to fix this. The restaurants can't survive without your help. You owe us that much." "Owe them?" I saved that message, not out of guilt, but as a reminder of who they truly were. The next day, Brandon texted again: "You're tearing this family apart." And maybe I was. But for once, it wasn't my job to hold it together. That afternoon, Mom left a final voicemail. Her voice was soft, almost trembling: "Jennifer, please. We are family. You can't just turn your back on us." I wanted to believe her. But family doesn't cast you out and call it love. Family doesn't take until there's nothing left to give. So I didn't call back that night. I sat in my apartment surrounded by silence. No phone buzzing, no guilt, no noise. Just me and the realization that sometimes peace comes after the explosion. They thought cutting me off would break me. But what they didn't understand was, I was never theirs to break. I built my life without them once, and I'll do it again. If you've ever been the black sheep, the one who gave everything and got nothing, this story's for you. Because walking away isn't weakness. It's freedom.